Hello, everyone. I'm Elise as Another Truth here on YouTube. I hope you're doing well and you're taking great care of yourselves. Welcome and welcome back. I hope that your weekend is restful and recuperative so far, and I wish you the best week ahead. For those who might not know me yet, I'm better known as Another Truth on YouTube. My channel primarily focuses on commentary and discussion surrounding various online dramas, offering some insights, giving my opinions that are lighthearted and not so lighthearted. However, some topics do require a more serious tone, and today I do want to get into a particularly complex figure in the YouTube community, Colleen Ballinger. Now, before I proceed further, I would like to disclose that I am using, or I have used AI to help me in the development of this discussion. Well, I wrote the script out myself. I wrote everything out myself. I needed to construct it in a better way. And I went back in and changed a few things that sounded too generic. So I'm weaving my own opinion, my own tone into this, but I wanted to set that for disclosure before proceeding. Content warning. Before I get into it any deeper, I must emphasize that this video comes with a serious content warning. I mean this. I'm going to be discussing sensitive subjects around grooming, sexual abuse, emotional trauma, and problematic behaviors exhibited by Colleen Ballinger. And if you are familiar with her content, you know where I'm going to take this. However, I will not give inappropriate details, insights, or anything like that. I want to strict with the problem with this kind of behavior, the impact it has or could have on people. I will speak that generically. And where YouTube and other social media missed the ball, where the high school missed the ball, dropped the ball, I should say, they missed the point, and where how we as a community should just keep our focus on protecting vulnerable people in the right way and not through harassment, stalking, or abuse of anyone I talk about in this video. I have made that clear many times in my videos. I will make that clear in this one because it would impact Colleen's children and her extended family, and I do not want that to happen. So please don't do that. Now, I urge you to prioritize your well-being, so it's essentially take care of yourself. I've included links in the description box for anyone who might need support or resources. Remember, your mental health is more important than what I discuss here, so I urge you to come back at another time if these things are triggering for you. What I'm sharing here today is strictly my opinion, shaped by various reports and allegations surrounding Colleen's conduct. This is not an attempt to harass her or to corner her, but rather to address legitimate concerns that many people, including myself, find deeply troubling and that we want to speak out against. In today's social media and digital world, the line between celebrity and accountability is often erased, if not blurred, making it crucial to engage in discussions that prioritize the safety and emotional well-being of children and vulnerable individuals. This discussion is no different. Recently, I was apprised of the situation around Colleen Ballinger, thanks to other content creators like Adam McIntyre, various content creators who have given their point of view, and believe me, it's valid, and the Colleen Ballinger snark subreddit. Bless their hearts. Colleen Ballinger attended a high school event associated with her husband, Eric Stocklin, recently. This gathering, which could have been an opportunity for community and creative engagement if there weren't such controversies, was overshadowed by Colleen Ballinger's controversial and disgusting history, which ruined any prospect of cheer, happiness, joy, creativity, and a good time. Not only did Colleen Ballinger, in my opinion, ruin other people's day, particularly students there who felt scared, who felt threatened, was wondering why this thing was at their high school function. Didn't just ruin their day, but it broke their trust. It made people feel insecure, unsecure, questioning what's going on in people's decision-making minds. There was a student who expressed discomfort regarding her presence by presenting a photograph of her at this event, and either the same student or another student express the truth about this event and some of the steps that were taken before this event was presented, which raised serious questions in my mind about the appropriateness of allowing someone with her background into a setting surrounded by minors. So what the hell went wrong? Given the serious allegations that have been made against her, I strongly feel that she should not have been near those children at all. So why was she allowed that? Now we know that Colleen Ballinger is a self-centered bitch, and that the only thing that matters to her is her ego and all the attention that she once received. And not once would she allow her husband, I would assume, a moment of reminiscing about his own adolescent, his high school days, his bygone high school days that he's probably missing as well. And who wouldn't want to go back to that time, because he's made a mistake for many years being tied up with this woman. No wonder he wanted to go back in time. Unfortunately, in my opinion, she served as that reminder of that mistake he made in that fork in the road. So, sorry, I had to collect my thoughts for a moment. Given the seriousness of these allegations that have been made against her, again, I can't emphasize enough, strongly feel that she should not have been allowed near children at all. I cannot stress that enough. I may repeat this again and again and again in this video. The situation is particularly alarming because it reflects a broader issue of accountability in our society. Every time something like this happens, the question, what could have done better? What happened? Where was the chain of protection broken? Was there protection? Because I don't believe there's not enough protection for children in this country, in the United States, especially vulnerable children. When public figures, especially those with troubling histories, are permitted to engage with children, it sends a dangerous message about boundaries and safety. No safety measures were taken in place, from what I understand, in my opinion, about this situation. Otherwise, they would not have let this woman on the grounds of this high school, given that I'm sure there are plenty of vulnerable children in there. All of them are vulnerable. They can't make that decision for themselves. And it seems like maybe this is through the rumor mill and through some perspectives that there wasn't anything intentionally done to protect students, in my opinion. Now, don't go after the school or school district. These are my opinions. I don't have all the answers. And I don't trust Colleen as much as I throw her, because she will use kids to demonize her opponents. She's used children before to enhance her inappropriate shows. But I can't emphasize enough that it is essential institutions like schools take proactive measures to protect their students, rather than simply responding to public outcry and students' concerns after incidents occur with messages like, "Oh, it's just cancel culture. What happened to Colleen is cancel culture. What's going on is just cancel culture." Never mind, there were a number of minors compromised by Colleen through grooming, putting them in physical danger, on stage, leaving one out in a country by himself, essentially, exposing them to pornography that she stole from somebody, supposedly her best friend, to have shits and giggles at the expense of that friend and these minors she exposed them to, sending underwear to one of these minors. As many are aware, there have been numerous allegations regarding Colleen's despicable behavior, with individuals sharing experiences of feeling uncomfortable or feeling threatened in her presence. Some have described instances that can be categorized as grooming, which indeed it was, where boundaries are erased and young individuals are placed in vulnerable positions, as I've described before, as some examples. This is not merely speculation or cancel culture. It is based on testimonies from those who have felt the impact of her actions firsthand. To diminish the requests of these children is detrimental to their overall development and growth. These children still develop through adolescence until young adulthood. Decisions made like this can really shatter the confidence that children will have and the relationships they develop down the road. I will describe later on. Colleen appears to maintain an unhealthy fixation on children, which raises serious questions about her understanding of what's going on. At the same time, I believe she knows what's going on. She knew exactly what she was doing, because she knew that if children were interested in her material, she can gain inappropriate relationships with them, but also take their parents' money. It is concerning when a content creator, particularly one who has built a career around so-called child-friendly, in air quotes, persona, seems to disregard the potential consequences of their actions on an impressionable audience. And she certainly did disregard that. Now, the next part of this. What also disturbs me in this situation is the school would allow someone like Colleen into their premises, as I've described before, especially given the serious accusations that have been brought against her on social media and through the direct lived experiences of her victims. This raises red flags about the school's judgment and their responsibility or lack thereof in protecting their students. It highlights a critical gap in the systems designed to safeguard children. It's cancel culture, remember everybody? Fucking assholes. Institutions have a duty to vet individuals before granting them access to vulnerable populations. I had planned to do something in my local high school, something in connection with what I do with my committee. I had to do a criminal background check. They had to vet me. I'm not a Colleen Ballinger with that kind of power. And of course, I have never groomed kids. I never would. Kids are vulnerable. They do not deserve to be targeted. I'm not a pervert like she is. But she gets to just go right in. Oh, I'm Colleen Ballinger. I'm all this. And I'm here for my husband. But I'm going to overtake him because really it was about me at the end of the day. The failure to vet things like Colleen Ballinger do so not only compromise the safety of students, but also undermines the trust parents and communities place in these systems. Well, there's no reason to put your whole trust in any system at this point, because your child doesn't seem to matter in it, unless you are vigilant. When a high-profile figure with a controversial background is invited into a school setting, it invites scrutiny, raises questions about the values upheld by that institution, but sends a clear message to children that their lives do not matter. Their well-being can be traded in for someone's fucked up ideals about what is inappropriately labeled as cancel culture. It is my opinion, as a layperson, as a member of the public, as a member of this online community, to suggest parents and guardians must remain vigilant and advocate for their children's safety. It is dangerous on social media. It is dangerous in real life. If children express fear or discomfort regarding a situation like a filthy uncle, the neighbor staring at them weird, somebody in the family not making them feel comfortable, or Colleen Ballinger, well-known pervert, walking into a high school, it's crucial that adults take those feelings seriously. I mean it. Ignoring their concerns can lead to devastating consequences, reinforcing a culture of silence and fear among people who may already struggle to articulate their experiences because they don't know what the hell's going on with them, but they know something's not right. I want to discuss the ripple effect of harm and that lasting trauma in what happens when kids are not listened to and things happen to them because of neglect or because someone's beliefs or opinions about cancel culture or whatever takes precedence. We've seen this play out time and time again in family channels, all kinds of things. Many people have talked about it, and there are fresh perspectives to keep it anew, to keep it in the minds of people. The impact of harmful behavior can have lasting effects on individuals, particularly children. I understand that online culture can complicate narratives. Yes, it can, but it should never obscure a child's concern, express concern and experience about something that happened to them. I understand that sometimes there is sensationalism overshadowing genuine concerns. Now, Colleen makes this about herself, but she blames her victims for the situation she is in. Re-victimizing her victims by getting people to think it's cancel culture, that she's being canceled unfairly, and not respecting what has happened to the people she did hurt. It is vital that we continue to listen to children's stories about what has happened to them, whether they're family members, whether it's in schools we work with, whatever, and advocate for their safety. Take them seriously. Get them the help that they need through the proper authorities. For many survivors of inappropriate behavior, sexual abuse, grooming, and devaluation, the scars left by such experiences can be lifelong. I know because I'm still dealing with it in my advanced years. The trauma can manifest itself in various ways, affecting mental health, emotional regulation, relationships, interaction with authority, and overall quality of life, which could lead to addictions, physical health, deterioration, and so on. Recovery is possible from what I understand, but it often requires a lot of support, belief in the victims, therapy, and a safe environment. Not everybody has those luxuries. And maybe their only people are responsible adults on here who speak up for them, even if they're not directly connected to them. And the community, which should act in their best interest and not take advantage of them because they are vulnerable and don't have a lot of support. As a community, we must ensure that victims feel heard and validated rather than dismissed or blamed. Now, as far as ethical responsibility of content creators, we know that a lot of these larger channels don't have, but also the smaller channels. And there are a lot of predators on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, you know it. And you know the numbers of who's watching family channels, especially with little kids, in certain innocent situations where these older men gawking at them think otherwise. Content creators hold significant influence over their audiences. With this influence comes ethical responsibility. Creators must be aware of the impact their words and actions can have. Though we know some of them deliberately put their children in compromising situations and put them in peril and in danger. And the impact can really hit hard, particularly on younger viewers who may not fully comprehend the nuances of adult behavior. When someone with a following engage in this disgusting conduct, it is imperative that they face scrutiny and accountability, not to the point of harassing and threatening people, but speaking out against it at every turn. And it's working. Colleen has no fucking career, not in what she used to do. Now, I don't know if she did that because the numbers just aren't there. She was advised not to. There's not going to be a time where people will forget about this. This will continue to happen. She's essentially, unless she does entertainment strictly for adult viewing, and that could be anything from comedy to whatever, That's one thing. That's if anybody will even accept her at this point. But what she has done in her past is not something she can continue to do. And I think she knows that and she wants that so bad. But she abused that privilege as well as she abused the people who trusted her to take care of them, to respect them, and respect her boundaries around them. She fucking betrayed that trust. She has no right to ever return to something like that again. Ever. Colleen Ballinger's case exemplifies the perversity that social media tends to foster, because you know damn well YouTube isn't doing anything about it. Neither is Instagram and everything else she has used. Period. She hasn't been banned. Period. She still has the privilege of making money from her videos. She got one sponsorship, I guess, for her podcast. I don't know about that or who the hell that was. Why, I don't know. But she still benefits from whatever is left of her disgusting and concluded career as Miranda sings. Her previous persona, the one she can no longer move around as, Miranda sings, also raises concern about the messages conveyed to children and young audiences. Again, Miranda sings, as Colleen Ballinger stated, is the persona that she can't be herself because she has to play a different role. And that Miranda really is a disgusting Colleen Ballinger. That is Colleen Ballinger, who's sexually inappropriate, is dealing with their own trauma, it seems, but a lot of inappropriate jokes, inappropriate gestures, things that are not for children to see. But Miranda sings putting children, quite literally, in compromising situations, like she did with JoJo Siwal in one video, with Adam McIntyre, and a number of other children she did this to on stage in one of her tours, several of her tours. It is essential to question whether such portrayals inadvertently normalize inappropriate behavior or foster unhealthy dynamics between creators and their audiences. No doubt that it has, because it makes it acceptable, because she fucking got away with it. I urge everyone to approach this subject with care. It is our collective responsibility, in my opinion, to advocate for those who cannot speak up for themselves. The ongoing discussion surrounding Colleen Ballinger serves as a reminder of the importance of safeguarding vulnerable populations, especially children. Our dialogue is essential for creating awareness and effecting change. Parents, educators, and advocates must unite to ensure that schools and other institutions prioritize the safety and well-being of their students. We must push for transparency and accountability in decisions made by those who hold positions of power that are in the business of teaching and protecting children. I want to make it clear that this discussion is not merely about condemning an individual. It's about addressing systemic issues that can put children at risk. And I only touch the surface, so to speak. The safety and emotional well-being of young people must always take precedence over the desires of public figures. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I appreciate it. It's a challenging topic, one that was hard to record, but one that must be addressed openly and honestly. I encourage you to do the same with any thoughts of anything that upsets you, that concerns you, and that you want to bring to light, especially around discussions with regard to accountability, safety, and the well-being of children. Please take excellent care of yourselves and remember that your well-being always comes first.